Imagine holding a small piece of American history right in your hand, a simple nickel that could be worth thousands of dollars today. Welcome to Coins Most Valuable, where ordinary pocket change transforms into extraordinary treasure. These are the Jefferson Nickels, coins born in the heart of America, carrying secrets, minting mysteries, and rare errors that only the sharpest eyes can uncover. Many people spend them every day without realizing their true value, but tonight, you'll see why some of these nickels are selling for unbelievable prices at auction. So stay with me till the very end, because the nickel sitting in your wallet might just be a hidden fortune waiting to be discovered. And if you love rare and valuable US coins, subscribe now to Coins Most Valuable, where every video brings you closer to finding the next great American treasure. Let's get started. First up, the 1964 Jefferson Nickel with the No Mintmark is one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in American coinage history. At first glance, it might look like an ordinary 5-cent piece, but what many people don't realize is that some 1964 Jefferson Nickels can be worth far more than face value. In fact, certain examples have sold for thousands of dollars at auction. That's right, this small coin that most Americans have spent without a second thought can actually be one of the most valuable nickels you'll ever come across. The Jefferson Nickel has been a part of American life since 1938. It replaced the Buffalo nickel and features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, designed by Felix Schlag. On the obverse, Jefferson's profile faces left, with the word Liberty and the year of issue to the right. On the reverse side is the famous depiction of Jefferson's home, Monticello, with the denomination 5 cents and the country's proud name, United States of America. Now, the year 1964 holds special importance in U.S. coinage. It was a transitional period in American minting history. The United States Mint produced an incredibly high number of coins that year to combat coin shortages that were happening nationwide. As a result, both the Philadelphia and Denver mints struck an enormous number of Jefferson Nickels, but even within those massive numbers, there are some extremely rare variations, unique minting errors, and exceptional quality strikes that make certain 1964 nickels incredibly valuable to collectors today. The 1964 Jefferson Nickel was struck at the Denver Mint, indicated by the No Mintmark located on the reverse side of the coin, to the right of Monticello. The total mintage was enormous, over 1.7 billion coins, making it one of the highest minted Jefferson Nickels ever produced. However, within that ocean of production, the smallest imperfections, double strikes, or full steps on Monticello can make a world of difference in value. Collectors especially seek out full steps nickels. On the Monticello design, there are steps leading up to the building. If all 6 steps are fully struck and visible with crisp detail, the coin earns the designation full steps, and these are far rarer and more valuable than regular strikes. Most 1964 nickels were poorly struck due to worn dies and fast production, meaning sharp details were lost. That's why finding a 1964 Jefferson Nickel with full steps is like striking gold. For most circulated examples, a 1964 Jefferson Nickel might only be worth its face value or slightly more, perhaps 10 to 25 cents depending on condition. But when you move into higher grades and pristine condition coins, the values begin to rise sharply. For instance, in uncirculated or mint state condition, especially those certified as MS-65 or MS-66, the coin's value can range from a few dollars to over $50 or more. However, the real excitement comes from those ultra-high grade examples and rare die varieties. A 1964 Jefferson Nickel graded MS-67 with full steps can command an incredible price at auction. In fact, the highest price ever recorded for a 1964 Jefferson Nickel was a jaw-dropping $6,325, when one of these coins with exceptional quality and full steps detail sold at a professional auction. That price shows just how powerful rarity and condition can be in determining a coin's true value. But what makes these coins so challenging and fascinating is the sheer variety of minting errors and die states that exist for the 1964 nickel. Because the Denver Mint was striking so many coins that year, many dies were overused, leading to weak strikes, die cracks, and doubling. Some examples show signs of die deterioration doubling, where letters and numbers on the coin appear slightly doubled due to worn dies. Others may show minor planchet flaws, off-center strikes, or die clashes, where the obverse and reverse dies struck each other without a planchet between them, leaving ghost-like impressions of the design on the coin. Each of these imperfections adds to the story of the 1964 Jefferson Nickel, and for coin collectors, those stories are what make numismatics so exciting. When you find a nickel from 1964 with the Denver Mintmark, take a close look, especially at the steps of Monticello and the details around Jefferson's hair and the word Liberty. The sharper those details are, the better the strike and the higher the potential value. Another reason collectors are drawn to this coin is its metal composition. The 1964 Jefferson Nickel is made of 75% copper and 25% nickel, a standard composition that gives it that classic silver-gray appearance. It has a diameter of 21.2 millimeters and weighs 5 grams. Although it doesn't contain silver, the 1964 Jefferson Nickel is still a true piece of mid-20th century Americana. It represents an era of massive production and industrial expansion, yet even with billions made, perfection remained elusive, and that's what makes the perfect ones valuable today. Now, you might wonder why 1964 nickels seem to come up so often in coin collecting discussions. It's because 1964 was the last year the U.S. Mint placed mint marks on coins until 1968, due to the nationwide coin shortage and changes in minting policy. After 1964, the mint temporarily removed mint marks to discourage hoarding. So the 1964 nickel stands as a symbolic turning point in American coinage, the end of one era and the beginning of another. Collectors today look at the 1964 as one of the most important dates in the Jefferson Nickel series, not just for its enormous production, but for the unique challenges it presents. Finding a coin from that mintage that's in perfect condition is extremely rare. Most have been circulated heavily over decades, passing through millions of hands in everyday commerce. Yet, occasionally, a few have survived untouched in rolls, mint sets, or forgotten jars, preserving that sharp mint luster that collectors dream of finding. When searching through your coins, always look for lustrous surfaces, clean fields, and strong steps. Those are signs you might have something special. And if you find a 1964 with no visible wear and crisp details, you're already holding a coin worth far more than 5 cents. What really captures collectors' attention, though, are the stories behind the record-setting sales. The 1964 Jefferson Nickel that sold for over $6,000 wasn't made of precious metal, it was made of precision, patience, and rarity. It was a coin that survived decades without damage, with perfectly struck steps on Monticello, and flawless surfaces that reflected light like a mirror. It's a reminder that in the world of coin collecting, perfection is everything. Every Jefferson Nickel tells a story about America, about history, craftsmanship, and the power of small details. The 1964 represents the dedication of the U.S. Mint and the enduring curiosity of collectors. Even today, coin hunters across the country are checking their pocket change, coin rolls, and collections, hoping to find that one special 1964 nickel that might change everything. Whether you're new to collecting or have been doing it for years, the lesson is clear: never underestimate the value of the coins you see every day. The next time you find a 1964 Jefferson Nickel, take a close look. You could be holding a hidden treasure worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The Jefferson Nickel remains one of the most iconic and accessible coins in U.S. history, and the 1964 version continues to fascinate collectors with its mix of rarity, history, and opportunity. The story of this coin proves that even in a sea of billions, one perfect example can rise to the top and become truly priceless. So, if you have a 1964 Jefferson Nickel, treasure it. Study it carefully, preserve it, and remember, somewhere out there, someone once held a nickel just like yours that went on to sell for over $6,000. That's the power of American coinage, and that's the magic of the Jefferson Nickel. Next up, the 1974 Jefferson Nickel with no mint mark might look like an ordinary 5-cent coin, something millions of Americans once carried in their pockets without ever realizing the secret it hides. But beneath that simple gray surface lies a story of rarity, survival, and hidden value that has made this small coin a legend among collectors. This isn't just a piece of metal, it's a silent witness to American history. Minted at the Philadelphia Mint, the 1974 Jefferson Nickel without a mint mark represents an era when precision, production, and design all came together in one of the most iconic coins in U.S. history. Every line, every curve, every shadow on this coin tells a story. On the obverse, the noble face of Thomas Jefferson, the author of the Declaration of Independence, the third President of the United States, looks calmly toward the future. Around him, the words "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" reflect America's unshakable ideals. Below it, the date 1974 stands as a marker of time, linking generations through the power of a single coin. Flip it over, and you're greeted by the timeless beauty of Monticello, Jefferson's home, his dream, his design, and his symbol of freedom. The columns, the dome, and the grand staircase speak of art, intellect, and America's relentless pursuit of excellence. The word Monticello rests proudly above, while United States of America and 5 cents frame it with dignity. But here's where the mystery begins: the absence of a mint mark. No D for Denver. No S for San Francisco. Just a clean, blank field beside the portrait. That small missing letter makes all the difference. It tells you this coin was struck in Philadelphia, a mint known for producing some of the most historically important coins in American history. Now, you might wonder, if millions of these nickels were made, what makes this one so valuable? The answer lies in the details, and in the condition. Collectors around the world seek out what's called the full steps variety. On the reverse of the Jefferson Nickel, look closely at Monticello's staircase. If all 6 steps are completely visible and separated, your coin could be a full steps example. And that's where the magic happens, because these coins are extremely rare. The 1974 Jefferson Nickel with no mint mark in full steps condition represents one of the hardest finds in modern U.S. coinage. Most nickels were struck with worn dies or handled roughly during production, so their steps blended together. Only a handful came out perfectly struck, preserved with every step sharp and clear, the kind of perfection collectors dream of finding. And when one of these rare survivors shows up in pristine, uncirculated condition, the kind of condition that still glows with its original mint luster, it becomes a treasure. Not a 5-cent coin anymore, but a symbol of patience, history, and discovery. In fact, one stunning 1974 Jefferson Nickel with no mint mark and full steps reached an astonishing $4,600 at auction, proving that even modern nickels, when struck perfectly, can command serious collector attention and incredible prices. That record shocked the numismatic world and reminded everyone that not all treasure comes in gold or silver. Sometimes, it hides in nickel and copper. Think about that, a 5-cent coin selling for thousands of dollars. That's the power of rarity. That's the power of preservation. That's the power of the 1974 Jefferson Nickel with no mint mark. Each of these coins is made of 75% copper and 25% nickel, weighing 5 grams and measuring 21.2 millimeters in diameter. They don't contain precious metal, but their real worth lies in their story and scarcity. The U.S. Mint struck millions, yet time, circulation, and wear have erased most of their beauty. Only a few remain untouched, frozen in time, carrying the sparkle of 1974 into the present day. When you hold a coin like this, you're holding a piece of living history, a bridge between Jefferson's vision and America's modern age. You're holding a coin that has traveled through hands, decades, and stories, yet somehow survived long enough to be rediscovered. Collectors don't just see value in metal, they see legacy. Every scratch, every shine, every preserved detail tells a different story. The 1974 No Mintmark Jefferson Nickel is a coin that connects the past to the present, the ordinary to the extraordinary. And the thrill of finding one in perfect condition? It's like discovering buried treasure in your pocket change. Imagine looking through your nickels one day and spotting that sharp detail, that untouched luster, that flawless set of steps, and realizing you might be holding one of the few coins worth thousands of dollars. The Jefferson Nickel series, started in 1938, is one of the longest-running designs in American history. It has survived wars, recessions, and redesigns. Yet even after all these years, the 1974 No Mintmark remains one of the shining stars in the series, not because of how it looks to the casual eye, but because of what it means to collectors who understand its story. This coin symbolizes the hidden potential of everyday money. A simple nickel that might have been used to buy a candy bar in the 1970s can now be a collector's dream in the 2020s. That's why coin collecting is so powerful, because history has a way of rewarding those who pay attention to the smallest details. When you look closely, you'll notice the fine craftsmanship in Jefferson's portrait, the realism, the strength, the subtle shadows that bring his face to life. And on the reverse, the elegant proportions of Monticello tell a story of balance and perfection. The Philadelphia Mint may not have placed its mark on this coin, but its mastery is evident in every line. There's something deeply American about this coin, modest in value, powerful in meaning, and quietly extraordinary. It represents the spirit of discovery, the belief that something small and overlooked can still hold immense worth. So as you check your nickels, remember that not all treasures are hidden in chests or buried underground. Some are waiting in plain sight, resting in jars, drawers, or old collections, just waiting for someone like you to notice them. The 1974 Jefferson Nickel with no mintmark stands as a reminder, history rewards curiosity. And sometimes, the difference between an ordinary coin and a rare, valuable treasure is just a matter of condition, luck, and attention. So look closely at every nickel you find. You never know, the next time you check your change, you might just be holding a 5-cent piece that tells $1 million story. Next up, the 1987 Jefferson Nickel with the D mint mark is one of those coins that most people overlook, yet it quietly holds a place among the most interesting and potentially valuable nickels in modern American history. Many of these coins have been spent countless times over the decades, but a few rare examples have turned out to be worth far more than anyone ever imagined, some even fetching thousands of dollars at auction. At first glance, the 1987 Jefferson Nickel looks ordinary. It's small, simple, and made for everyday use, just a 5-cent piece, right? But that's the magic of U.S. coinage. The truth is, hidden among the millions of these nickels that pass through hands, jars, and registers across America, a small number of them stand out because of their condition, strike quality, or rare minting variations. Those are the coins collectors dream of finding, the ones that turn pocket change into something truly valuable. To understand why the 1987 Jefferson Nickel with the D Mintmark is so fascinating, let's take a step back and appreciate its history. The Jefferson Nickel design dates all the way back to 1938. It replaced the Buffalo nickel and was designed by Felix Schlag, who created the portrait of Thomas Jefferson that has appeared on the obverse ever since. The reverse shows Jefferson's iconic Virginia home, Monticello, one of the most recognizable landmarks in American numismatics. Now, the 1987 D Jefferson Nickel was struck at the Denver Mint, and the D Mintmark is placed on the obverse side, just to the right of Jefferson's portrait. This was a time when the U.S. Mint was producing massive numbers of coins to keep up with demand, but as any experienced collector knows, even in large mintages, certain coins stand out because of their rarity, error features, or exceptional preservation. The composition of this nickel is the standard post-war formula, 75% copper and 25% nickel, with a weight of 5 grams and a diameter of 21.2 millimeters. Even though it doesn't contain precious metal, what gives the 1987 D Jefferson Nickel its potential value is not what it's made of, but how perfectly it was made. During the 1980s, the U.S. Mint placed heavy emphasis on speed and efficiency, which often resulted in coins that were less sharply struck. The dies used to strike nickels wore out quickly, leading to softer details and weaker images. Because of that, finding a 1987 D Jefferson Nickel with strong details, especially showing full steps on Monticello, is incredibly rare. Collectors are always searching for those crisp, well-defined examples. Most of these coins in circulation today are worth face value. But when you find a 1987 D Jefferson Nickel in pristine, uncirculated condition, that's where the story changes completely. Coins graded at high mint state levels, MS66 or MS67, can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, especially if they display sharp details and flawless surfaces. And here's the incredible part, the highest price ever recorded for a 1987 D Jefferson Nickel was $1,320, sold at auction for a stunningly beautiful example in MS67 full steps condition. That single coin, a perfect survivor from a year of mass production, showed just how valuable perfection can be in the world of numismatics. Imagine that, a nickel minted in 1987, worth over $1,000 because of its quality and rarity. That's the kind of discovery that keeps collectors searching, roll after roll, year after year. The key factor that determines whether your 1987 D Jefferson Nickel is valuable lies in its condition and strike quality. The steps on Monticello are the most critical detail. Most 1987 D nickels show blurry or incomplete steps due to weak strikes, but when all 6 steps are fully visible, collectors call that a full steps example, and that's what can push the value through the roof. Beyond condition, collectors also look for unique minting errors from 1987. Coins with double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, or clipped planchets are especially desirable. For example, some 1987 D Jefferson nickels show light doubling on Jefferson's profile or on the inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." Others have slightly misaligned dies that cause parts of the design to appear shifted or stretched. These small anomalies, invisible to most people, are what make a coin truly collectible. But it's not just about rarity, it's about history. The 1987 D Jefferson Nickel represents a unique moment in U.S. minting history. It came out during a period of economic stability in the late 1980s, but also when modern coinage technology was improving, making it one of the early examples of precision-struck circulation coins. It bridges the old world of heavy die ware with the new era of machine precision, and that transition gives this coin a story of its own. Think about how many of these nickels were minted and how many have been spent, lost, or damaged over time. Yet, a few have survived untouched, tucked away in mint sets, collector rolls, or hidden in drawers, preserving their original shine and sharpness. Those are the coins collectors hunt for, because finding one feels like stepping back in time, holding a piece of 1987 in the palm of your hand. When people first hear about nickels being worth thousands of dollars, they often think it's impossible. But every valuable coin starts as an ordinary one. The difference is in the details. A small flaw, a rare strike, a perfect surface, these things turn common coins into extraordinary finds. And the 1987 D. Jefferson Nickel is proof of that. This coin teaches an important lesson to collectors and beginners alike: never underestimate the value of your change. Every nickel you touch has a story, and sometimes that story is worth far more than you expect. The next time you go through your spare coins, take a close look at any Jefferson Nickels from 1987, especially those with a D mintmark. Check for clean fields, full steps, sharp rims, and bright luster. Because just one of those coins could be your hidden treasure. Another interesting detail about the 1987 D nickel is that its design had already been in circulation for nearly 50 years by then, yet it still carried the timeless image of Jefferson and Monticello. The consistency of this design connects generations, your parents, your grandparents, and now you have all used the same nickel design. That continuity is part of why collectors love the Jefferson series so much. Even though most people associate valuable nickels with the wartime silver issues from 1942 to 1945, or with early varieties like the 1939 doubled Monticello, modern nickels like the 1987 D have proven that even recent decades can hide incredible rarities. It's not just about age, it's about perfection, rarity, and preservation. The 1987 D. Jefferson Nickel continues to attract attention in auctions and coin shows across the country. Collectors compete fiercely for top-graded examples, knowing that each one is a piece of American minting excellence. The higher the grade, the rarer the coin becomes, and that's what drives those record-breaking prices. So when you hold a 1987 D. Jefferson Nickel, remember, you're holding a coin that represents more than just 5 cents. You're holding decades of craftsmanship, history, and hidden potential. Somewhere out there, one of these nickels sold for over $1,000 because it was struck to perfection. Who knows, the next one could be sitting in your pocket right now. That's what makes this hobby so thrilling. It's not about luck, it's about awareness, passion, and the excitement of discovery. Every single coin has the potential to surprise you, and the 1987 Jefferson Nickel with the D mintmark is living proof of that. So take another look at your nickels, especially those from 1987. Examine them closely. You never know, the one you've been overlooking could be the next coin to set a new auction record. Because in the world of American coin collecting, even a simple Jefferson nickel can turn into something truly priceless. Next up, the 1989 Jefferson Nickel with the P mintmark may seem like just another common coin from your pocket change, but this ordinary-looking nickel has a story that proves how powerful small details can be in the world of coin collecting. While millions were made, only a few special examples from the Philadelphia Mint carry the kind of perfection, rarity, and historical significance that make them truly valuable today. Let's take a closer look at why the 1989 Jefferson Nickel with the P mintmark is far more than just 5 cents. It's a piece of American craftsmanship, a coin that represents precision, legacy, and the hidden treasures that often go unnoticed. On the obverse, we see the proud and noble portrait of Thomas Jefferson, designed by Felix Schlag, the same design that first appeared in 1938. Jefferson's calm and dignified profile faces left, symbolizing wisdom and leadership. The inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 1989, surround his portrait, while just beside Jefferson's image sits the small but important P mintmark, signifying that this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Turn the coin over, and the reverse reveals one of the most iconic American images in coinage, Monticello, Jefferson's home in Virginia. The elegant dome, the balanced columns, and the fine steps at the front reflect classical beauty and American ideals of harmony and order. Above the building, you'll see the name Monticello in bold letters, and below it, the denomination 5 cents, followed by United States of America. Now, to the untrained eye, every 1989 Jefferson nickel might look the same. But coin experts and collectors know that true value hides in the details, in the strike quality, the luster, the condition, and sometimes even the smallest imperfections or die varieties. The 1989 Jefferson Nickel P mintmark was struck in Philadelphia, with millions produced for everyday circulation. Most of these coins were spent, scratched, and worn through decades of use. But a few were struck with exceptional precision and preserved perfectly, never circulated, never damaged. These coins are the ones collectors fight for. The 1989 Jefferson Nickel has a composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel, weighs 5 grams, and measures 21.2 millimeters in diameter. While it contains no silver, its value lies entirely in its rarity, its quality, and its perfection. When collectors talk about Jefferson Nickels, they often mention one key term: full steps. This refers to the clarity of the steps on Monticello. If all 6 steps are clearly defined and separated, that coin is considered a full steps specimen, and it can be worth hundreds or even thousands of times more than a regular example. For the 1989 P. Jefferson Nickel, full steps examples are extremely hard to find. The Philadelphia Mint in 1989 produced coins under heavy demand, and many dies were overused. That means weak strikes were common, and only a very small number of perfectly struck nickels survived with complete steps. Collectors hunt for these full steps nickels because they are the truest representation of the mint's craftsmanship. They show perfection, every architectural detail of Monticello sharp, flawless, and bright. Finding one in pristine condition is like finding a needle in a haystack. And when one of these rare, high-grade examples appears at auction, the price can shock even seasoned collectors. In fact, one 1989 Jefferson Nickel with the P. Mintmark, graded in flawless condition with full steps, sold for an incredible $1,175 at auction. That's right, a coin worth 5 cents in your hand could be worth over $1,000 in the right condition. That moment captured the attention of numismatists across the country. It proved once again that even modern Jefferson Nickels can command big money when struck with perfection and preserved with care. Now imagine this, that very same coin could have been sitting in a pocket, a coin jar, or a drawer for decades. Someone might have handled it, glanced at it, and spent it, never realizing they were holding a rare piece of numismatic art. That's the thrill of coin collecting, the chance that hidden treasure could be right in your change. The 1989 Jefferson Nickel is part of a long and proud lineage that began in 1938. The design by Felix Schlag was chosen for its simple beauty and balance, and it became one of the most enduring coin designs in U.S. history. The Jefferson Nickel tells the story of America itself, steady, reliable, and full of hidden strength. By 1989, the mint had refined its production techniques, yet the Philadelphia facility still struggled with die wear and striking pressure. That's why so many 1989 nickels show soft detail, especially on Monticello steps. It's also why a true full steps example is such a rare and exciting discovery. Collectors today value this coin for what it represents, a connection between modern minting technology and traditional artistry. Every line on Jefferson's face, every reflection of light off its smooth fields, and every crisp step on Monticello is a reminder of the skill and precision that went into striking each coin. If you ever come across a 1989 Jefferson Nickel with the P. Mintmark, don't overlook it. Hold it to the light, study the steps on Monticello, and look at the details on Jefferson's portrait. You might just find that one special coin that the mint struck perfectly, the kind that collectors wait years to find. The beauty of coin collecting is that it turns ordinary objects into pieces of history. Every coin has a story, and the 1989 Jefferson Nickel story is one of hidden value. It's about how a small detail, a mint mark, a sharp strike, or an untouched surface, can transform a simple coin into a highly sought-after collectible. Many people throw their spare change into a jar, never realizing they might be sitting on something extraordinary. The next time you go through your coins, take a second look. Because if you happen to find a 1989 P. Jefferson Nickel with razor-sharp details and full steps, you could be looking at one of those rare pieces worth far more than its face value. And beyond value, these coins connect us to our nation's past. They represent the continuity of American coinage, a design that's lasted through generations, wars, recessions, and revolutions in technology. They remind us that history isn't just in museums, sometimes it's in your pocket. The 1989 Jefferson Nickel with the P. Mintmark stands as a symbol of craftsmanship and rarity. It's a coin that challenges assumptions, that turns an everyday item into something truly valuable. And every time one of these nickels shows up in pristine, untouched condition, it reignites the excitement of collectors across America. Coins like this one prove that value isn't always about what something's made of, it's about what it represents. The 1989 Jefferson Nickel carries the story of Jefferson's ideals, American artistry, and the quiet legacy of the Philadelphia Mint. So, before you spend another nickel, take a look at it. Check the mint mark. Check the year. Because somewhere out there, another 1989 Jefferson Nickel with a P. Mintmark is waiting, flawless, gleaming, and ready to surprise the next person who realizes what they've just found. That's the magic of coin collecting, the idea that something so small could hold a story so big. The 1989 Jefferson Nickel P isn't just a coin, it's a discovery waiting to happen, a reminder that sometimes, even the most ordinary-looking coin can be worth far more than anyone expects. In a world where ordinary coins hide extraordinary secrets, a single Jefferson Nickel can change everything. But the real shock? The Roosevelt dimes, coins so rare, so valuable, they've turned pocket change into pure treasure. Don't miss it, watch my previous video on Roosevelt dimes right now before you check your own coins. Hit subscribe, like, and share this video if you believe hidden treasures still exist in America's change. And comment below, I'm searching my coins tonight, if you're ready to uncover your own piece of history. Because the next rare coin story could be yours.